Hey Samira, how you doing today? Good to see you.
Good, you?
Yes, I'm doing great. How's your day been so far?
It's been productive. I've
Excellent.
gotten all my tasks done. How has yours been?
Yes, my day's been fantastic. I can't complain at all. Yeah. So let the viewers know who you are, what you do, and why you do it, Samira.
You know what? That question always baffles me who you are because you can literally summarize who you are in such a brief sentence or paragraph. But my name is Samira. I am lots of things. I have a degree in teaching. I'm also a fashion model. I would say a creative fashion model because I don't just put on a dress. I try to introduce a concept too. And I'm also a fitness lover. I love to exercise, and I'm also an artist.
Excellent, excellent. So, like when you think back on your journey and look at your kind of a process to where you are now, before you got into creative fashion modeling, what was your kind of mindset at the time when you was thinking about this is what I want to do going forward? I want to actually be a fashion model. What was your mindset at that time?
You know what? When I completed a degree in teaching, I genuinely thought that I'm going to stay in teaching. I'm going to be in teaching. I'm going to climb up the career ladder and I'm going to become a head of a department or I'm going to be a deputy head teacher. Um, so that was the mindset. I put my fashion career and my modeling career on pause for several years because I was dedicated to my teaching career. But then I got to the point, post-pandemic, I got to the point that I no longer wanted to teach the whole class. I wanted to teach a few children in a small setting so I can set the learning target. It can be managed nicely. I'm not going to get stressed out. I don't need to worry about implementing individual learning plans while managing pretty little human beings' behaviors. So that's when I started taking my fitness routine more seriously because that is an integral part of being a model that you have to maintain your appearances, you have to stay very fit, obviously, and you have to look like your measurements and things like that. You have to have a clear skin, which comes with exercising and having a clean diet. So I was like, it's never too late. It's never too late. Just start over. And that's pretty much what I did. I took my modeling career, completely forgotten about modeling career off the ground because for two reasons. I saw the potential in me and I was getting told that, oh, you're so tall, so good looking, like constantly. I was like, so I still got it. I haven't lost it at all. It's still in me. And also, when you hit your 30s, you know that because of science, because of um, all the things that you know, that you're not going to stay that young anymore. You're going to hit your 40s, you're going to hit your 50s, and then you might never be able to take your modeling career off the ground. So I was like, just do it now. And there's so much power in believing that it's going to work out. Things are going to work out. Just be brave enough to start over. And it's very brave. It's very brave because not everybody is going to take you seriously. It's not necessarily um, a very alive um, industry, and that saddens me. Just verbalizing that saddens me because people post-pandemic, people have so many issues and facing so many difficulties that thinking about being fashionable and just being in fashion industry or being involved with it is the last thing on the list, and that
Right,
always saddens me.
right.
So it's brave, but when you know you've got the potential, you just keep at it.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. So I could
Yeah.
imagine like being a model, it comes with a lot of demands like on your appearance and keeping up with like trends and things like that. And you also meet a lot of people that you build different types of relationships with as well. And you know, talking about relationships, we all have like different struggles that we've been through in previous relationships to get to where we are now. So when you look back at your own previous relationships, what would you say some of those struggles have been, and how did you navigate through those to get to where you are now?
That is a very long story. Throughout my life, I've only had two relationships. And the second one, the last one, ended in 2018. So for 7 years, I've been single, which is a very long time. But it doesn't surprise me because I have higher standards and men are ridiculous. No offense, Kayo, no offense. Men are absolutely ridiculous. I can write a book about how men treat women, how ridiculous and childish they are when it comes to making an effort, dating. Men do not date. They pretend to be dating. They do not date. I'm telling you, I've done lots of research. I've read lots of articles. 50% of men have their minds made up that they will never be in a committed relationship. And it's science back, it's research back. They are not going to be in a relationship. They don't know how to date. I can think off the top of my head messages I've received from men that I've read. I was like, are you kidding me? I was laughing my head off. It's like, do you actually think I'm going to be wanting to have anything to do with you after this text that you've sent me? It's all about their convenience. It has to be on their terms. Men are absolutely ridiculous. Like, I haven't come across a man. First of all, they don't know how to date. Second of all, they don't know how to respect a woman. And they are just very childish. Like I've dated men who are in their 40s. They don't want to have not even a girlfriend, let alone marriage. Like you're in your 40s. What's going on? So that is why I just a bit of backstory for you. Because I was in teaching, teaching is very female oriented. So I was barely meeting men. I wasn't meeting men at all. Teaching is female dominant. All primary school teachers are females. So I wasn't meeting men organically at all. So that was the one factor that I sort of fell behind and I wasn't going on dates. Like, so I was introduced to online dating. Like most of my friends say, oh, you're good looking, single, just go on a dating app. So I started dipping in and out of dating apps. And oh my God, like I can write a book about ridiculous dates and horrible dates that I've been on. I literally can.
Right, right. So, like in your experience, you feel like, you know, you have met men that you feel like are very ridiculous and childish and things like that. So, like, what is it that you was searching for, and what is it that, like, within yourself that you was kind of trying to portray that you felt like was not being heard or seen by the kind of men that you was interacting with?
I'm not asking for too much. I don't think any decent woman, any decent female who is out there single has lots of good qualities to offer. I don't think any of us is asking for too much.
But speaking
What
about
we
yourself, let's speak about yourself. Yeah.
speaking about myself, I'm not the easiest person to be in a relationship with. I'm not going to lie to you. I have rigid routines, and I have lots of hobbies that keep me occupied. And I'm also very, very intelligent. I'm not bragging about myself. I'm intelligent. I'm an intelligent person. So if the guy who is sat in front of me is going to be wanting me to shrink my standards or make me feel that, oh, I'm too much, it's not going to work out. And when it comes to appearances, obviously, I want somebody who I can look at for long hours because when it gets serious and you want to be in a relationship with that guy, you want them to be good looking enough so you can look at them for hours for a long period of time. You don't get tired of them. So there's a variety of factors that I take into consideration. And from the very start, I would say a couple of weeks into dating, I know for sure that this person is not somebody that I want to be continuing to see because I'm not feeling it. Something is off. So I used to base it on appearances, I would say up to 5, 6 years ago. Now I have mm, come up with a more moderate, I would say, set of standards that is not appearance based because I have my own type. I love a muscular guy, somebody who looks manly. And then when it comes to facial features, I have to find them very good looking so I can continue look at them and I want them um to take care of themselves and things that I do. So that's not too much to ask for. It's like just take care of your appearances. But when it comes to communicating, that's when things get difficult because most men, they don't communicate what's going through their heads. They don't communicate what they want from the woman. Texting, I read their text back to you. It's just a couple of words um, just communicating something. It's like just make more of an effort. I don't see your thought pattern in this. It's too brief for me to see a thought pattern. It's um too calculated. It's like I can tell you have like 5 minutes to send a message across. And I get that because they all lead busy lives. So do I. But it's like it's just you're not giving me too much to play with. I don't know you. I haven't gotten to know you. And it's all about their convenience. It's like, oh, I have this day off, and that is the day we are going to go on a date. This is the day we are going to meet up. No, this is your terms. I'm not going to plan my life around when you have time. It's always about their convenience. And again, what am I asking for? I'm asking for very standard things,
Okay.
um, making effort, being communicative, just being good at communicating, whether it's texting. Some people are so bad at texting. It's like, I have sent you a text 3 days ago. It's been 3 days and you haven't responded. That means you either lead a too busy life that you don't have time to reply, which is not something I want, or you're not interested. So I take an issue with that because I have this rule. If it's been 3 days that I haven't heard from the guy, and vice versa, if the guy hasn't heard back from the girl for 3 days, maybe because it's in the back of my mind, maybe because I've read it somewhere. I'm pretty sure there is a rule in dating, like 3 days means they're not interested. So it's like,
Right.
it's been 3 days.
Right. So I will say that like if somebody is not replying to you, it is a sign that they're not interested. I would even go as far as to say that within 24 hours, if someone is not replying to you, they're not interested. But it sounds like what you want is respect from a masculine man. And the thing is, if you think about it, or like, would you agree that a masculine man likes to do things on his terms?
Yeah, but he has to find a balance because I'm a human with thoughts, with opinions, with a personality, and he needs to know that. And that's when problems start to appear. It's like,
Okay.
no, you're not treating me um like like a human. You're treating me like an object. I've been objectified, and I'm sure so many girls out there have felt in the same way that they just look at us as objects. No, we are. humans. We have opinions and we have feelings. So I think again, I have higher standards. But when it comes to texting, I know you said maybe he's not interested. You're not going to believe this. It's the opposite. They don't reply on purpose because they don't want you to know that they are actually interested. And that's when I say they are ridiculous. Same guy who hasn't replied to a text for several days texts me back after several days saying that, oh no, that's not what the case is. I'm just too busy. And that's when I start to lose interest because somebody who is too busy to reply to my text is not going to have any time for me at all. So I might as well end it now.
Yeah. So
Um,
yeah, I just wanted to say, like, if a man is really in his masculinity, I don't think he'll be interested in playing games. So if a man is playing games, I don't think he's really in his masculinity, which is not what you're really looking for. But speaking about respect, like respect is something that's reciprocal. I'm sure you'd agree. So you saying that you want respect from a masculine man, in what ways, when you think back, have you been able to show respect to a masculine man?
well, first of all, I have made an effort to arrange for us to meet up, regardless of mm, how rarely that has happened because we've both been busy. Second of all, I have turned up. I'm not part of the cancel culture. I have turned up. So that's two signs of respect already that I have said yes to meeting up. I've made enough effort to go with the arrangement and come up with a date that we are plan and agree on a date that we are both free on. And then I've turned up. So that's two signs of respect. And then I've been actively listening. I've been respecting their opinions, and mm, I've shown up. I've been there. Some people cancel, they don't bother. So that's a few signs of respect. But I haven't seen the same thing from guys when it comes online dating is just horrendous. And I've become very wise with it because when I first started using online dating apps several years ago, I went on a few really horrible dates. One of them was so bad that I had to turn away and run away from the guy before even we initiated the conversation because he didn't look anything like his pictures. So I saw the guy from across the road and he didn't look anything like his pictures. I'm not going to go into details. I literally had to run away. I had to run away because I didn't. I was like, mm, if you meet him, you're going to have to explain yourself why you don't want to continue talking to him. So you might as well not let this happen at all. So online dating is horrendous. I've learned to just continue to talk to the guy until we've had a video chat so I can actually see them. Do they look like their pictures? Is this person decent enough for me to be around? And is this person safe? Is this person real? And things like that. So um, it's tricky. It's very tricky. And then a muscular guy who is, as you said, has his own terms. Obviously, is not going to be easy to work with because somebody who is that manly has set of his own terms that is not going to adapt his terms to sort of respect you. It's tricky, but I think if there is enough investment when it comes to like emotional investment and that foundation is solid, or whatever history you have with each other. Some of us we have histories with guys and girls because we share common grounds and we've been talking for several years. We've been texting, occasionally meeting up. So that means we share a history with each other. Yes, it hasn't led anywhere, but I know this guy, I know this girl. We've been talking for a few years. So we share a history already and we are finding out her relationship goals or whatever you want to call it. It's very tricky. And that is why people are single
Right, right.
because,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, it takes a lot. That's how I word this. It
Right.
takes a lot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like a lot of people will feel a similar way that like trying to date is very hard for them when they're trying to find their person. So they start looking at different types of relationships and relationship dynamics to see if there's anything else that is more suitable for them. And they look at things like monogamy versus non-monogamy to see if like maybe that kind of lifestyle is more conducive to the person that they are. So in that context, what is your viewpoint on monogamy versus non-monogamy?
I don't think any guy should expect monogamy unless that guy is dating that girl only. If the guy is inconsistent with texting, inconsistent with dating that girl, meeting up, including her in his life, he can never expect that girl to be exclusive with him. And that's when I start to take an issue. It's like the guy talks to me like he owns me, like I'm his property. It's like, no, we are nothing. I have texts of myself that I've sent to guys saying we are absolutely nothing because this hasn't led anywhere. A guy who hasn't made enough effort to ask you to be his girlfriend, a guy who hasn't made enough effort to consistently see you, you only, and a guy who talks to other girls, not just you, cannot expect you to be with him. And if you go on a date with somebody else, he has to deal with that because he has given you enough reasons to go ahead and do that. And he can consider that you're not loyal. Guys keep talking, oh, I want a loyal girl. How do you want a loyal girl when you're never there? It's ridiculous. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to just vanish because I lead a busy life. I'm a CEO, and then come back after a few months. I'm going to text Samira and she's going to reply. I have several texts of me saying, honestly, like it was over when I noticed a pattern with you. I start to notice a behavior pattern with guys. There are behavior patterns with guys. I treat them like my subject and I give them enough chances, they blow all of their chances. So don't come back to me. It's going to be a no, a very harsh no, and it is harsh. But I have higher standards. Somebody who hasn't included me in his life, hasn't dated me consistently, has never been there. Do you know how many challenges I've had for the past few months that you were too busy doing your own things? Yeah, I get that in somebody who is a CEO or somebody who is an important person is going to have a busy life. But if you're serious enough about a girl, if you like them enough, you are going to go out of your way and make enough effort.
Okay.
And
So
that's not too much to ask for. It's not.
Okay. So speaking a little further on non-monogamy, like opening up a relationship, some people like they kind of want to have an open relationship, but they don't want to rock the boat, so to speak. So imagine like you're in a relationship and a guy would like to speak with you about opening up the relationship, and he spoke to you about that. Like some people will say there's something missing in the relationship, that's why you want to open it up. What is your opinion on someone coming to you and saying they want to open up the relationship?
All I haven't been in an actual relationship for past 7 years. But all the other situationships, they are all open relationships because we continue to talk, but we are not actually with each other. So that is an open relationship. But I'm not going to investigate and interrogate the guy, asking, oh, so who is he seeing? Who is he dating? I'm not going to do that because we don't have a set of established rules. There is no exclusivity rule. We are just talking to each other. So again, that's when guys absolutely lose it because they continue to expect you to be with them, to be talking to them only. It's like, no, any city, any capital you're living in is full of singles. You can't just say next, next. Any big city that anybody is living in, any single woman is living in, is full of other singles. So she's going to go out there and she's going to meet somebody else because you have disappointed her. And that's when an open relationship is okay. I don't take any issue with an open relationship. But when I start to actually like a guy, or I think when a guy really, really likes a woman, it's going to take a lot of guts for the guy, especially, to not get jealous if the girl wants that relationship to be an open relationship. It's not a situation I've been in, to be honest. I have not been in a relationship for the past 7 years, and I haven't been with a guy who has asked me to be his girlfriend, but the relationship to be an open one. So I don't know what that is like. However, um, I think it's very possible because we live in a world that options are unlimited. Men and both single and married men and those who are in a committed relationship, they are exposed to all types of women via their social media platforms. They meet women in person on daily basis through their careers and things like that. So yeah, it's not new to me.
Right,
It's
right.
not new.
Okay, okay. So speaking about jealousy, because you mentioned jealousy. Now, jealousy can arise whether a relationship is monogamous or non-monogamous, whether it's open and exclusive or whatever it is. So, like, I know you've only had a couple of relationships in the past few years, but if you think back, like, how have you dealt with feelings of jealousy if they have ever arisen in you in a relationship?
I haven't really felt it because both relationships that I've been in, we were both really loyal towards each other. So there was never a discussion that, oh, you're cheating on me or you're not being loyal. Though both of those relationships were extremely genuine relationships and we actually really liked each other. So I honestly think if you love somebody, you want to see them all the time, you want to be in a relationship with them, or I wouldn't say love, maybe really, really like somebody, because I think for real love, it can take a while for it to build up. If you really, really like somebody, you don't want to see anybody else. But then there is a variety of factors in that, and they have to be like the whole package. I think if the person you're talking to or seeing, if they are they tick all of your boxes, or he's good looking, he's muscular, he makes me feel special, he makes lots of efforts, he can cook, he's caring, he's respectful towards me, we have great time every time we are with each other, um, then you don't really want to complicate things. You just go ahead with that. I think in that sense, I'm quite like an old soul. I can be quite traditional, but there is a reason for that, and that's next thing I want to discuss because I've seen it in dating. My background, my household background was a very solid background because my mom and dad, they were together for 36 years until my mom passed away. So that is a very good example. They set such a good example. They were together for so many years. They didn't get separated, they didn't get divorced. And so that's the example I've seen, and that's the example that has been set for me. So I've dated guys in the past that their parents had separated when they were young, and I started to see some behaviors that I didn't like, and one of it was they didn't believe in loyalty. They didn't believe in the fact that a serious relationship is ever going to work,
Yeah,
and that starts to impact you. So I think it's really important who you pick, who
yeah.
you choose, because who they are is going to impact everything.
Excellent, excellent. So unfortunately, we have run out of time, but I do want to ask you one.
Happy.
Yeah, like it's been flowing in conversation, but I do want to ask you one more question because you did mention about cheating in relationships or like infidelity, right? So I just want to know, like, what is your opinion on forgiveness after infidelity in relationships, if that was to arise? Just briefly.
I don't see that relationship working ever again. I think if you haven't established those rules that I previously mentioned, that you're both okay with, if you're okay, if you've said yes to an open relationship and he has said yes to an open relationship, then you're both okay with that. But if you've never established that rule, and one of you has cheated, I don't think it will work. It's going to take a lot of forgiveness, as you said, from either parties to make it work. Both.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, great, great. Well, Samira, it's been excellent speaking with you. Thank you for everything that you've shared. Where could people find you, find out more about you, and find out more about what you do?
Please visit my Instagram page. um, my first name, my family name dot portfolio. So that's Samira, SAMIRA SALEHI dot portfolio. Just visit my Instagram page.
Excellent. And for the viewers, the link to her socials will be in the description, so you can contact Samira and find out more about what she does. Once again, Samira, thank you so much for coming on. Any final words before we wrap up briefly?
Thanks for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm quite talkative, so um, I apologize if I talk too much,
No
but I
problem
think
at all.
that's what a podcast is about.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
Bye, Kayo. We
Thank you
talk
so much,
later.
Samira. Thank
No
you.
problem. Bye.